Hi guys, it's Chris with City Girl Homestead. So it's Thankful Thursday. So I've been trying to always think of stuff to make, when I'm talking and gabbing and moving my lips. So today I've decided to do old-fashioned easy apple crisp. So let's bring you down here. So the first thing I'm going to do is, it calls for 6 golden apples, but because I have some small ones here too, I'm going to use 7 apples. I know I've got a thing that cuts a hole in the center, but this is more fun. I get to use knife skills. So today, what am I thankful for? Always above everything, my Lord and Savior. Always and above everything. And then what I'm going to tell you next, it's personal, but hopefully you guys can handle that. I am thankful to be a mother and a grandmother. And after I got that picture last night, with all the babies' pictures in there and whatever, I was so excited. I bought the frame, and then I challenged Courtney to fill it, and she did. Well, back when I was 17, believe it or not, I had anorexia. I got tired of being fat, and I quit eating. I got very sick. I couldn't eat. I'd pass out all the time. My monthly cycle stopped, and it caused an awful lot of scar tissue. And the oven's preheating to 350. My doctors told me that I would probably never be a mom. And it took a long road to get to having my children, because my body doesn't like to cooperate to begin with. There's been a lot of miscarriages, and, it took a lot. So both my boys are miracle babies. I always wanted 6 kids, but, I would have, but it didn't turn out that way. But anyways, so when I looked at those pictures of those grandbabies, I told Tom, I said, sometimes we don't know how thankful and grateful we should be. Because as a young 18-year-old girl, I was between 17 and 18. I was told I'd never have children. So, when I said that to Tom and how thankful I am for my children and now my beautiful grandchildren, I'm just so thankful and so grateful for them. And then, Tom, he believes in God and everything. Don't get me wrong, he does. But he said, you know what? Sometimes doctors know less than God does. And I was so impressed when he said that, because I'm like, you know what? You're right. So I am thankful 110% that I'm a mom and I'm a grandma to those beautiful babies. And I loved being a mom. I love being a mom. And I never thought I wanted to be a mom. Had a kind of rough childhood, and I thought, no, I don't want to do that. But you know something? I learned that you can love without being a mean person. And I know that God directed me, and he gave me, 2 beautiful sons that they truly are miracles. They are. And, being a mom is amazing in itself. It's such a gift. And I read things like on Facebook about how tired and everything we are. And, motherhood sometimes can be like that. I remember setting my alarm clock for every hour on the hour when my kids were sick. How it used to irritate the ex-husband, something terrible. But I wanted to make sure that they were okay. And, I was protective of them. But I'm telling you, since becoming a grandmother, and I don't mean in a weird way. I fall in love with my kids all over again, and those grandchildren are just, they're really something. Like, I had AJ at 5:30 this morning and yesterday too, and my son dropped off Emmy to the daycare on his way through. And so I said to him yesterday, do you want me or Jack to take you to the bus stop? And he goes, well, I want you, Grandma. And I go, okay. And so today I asked him, and he goes, I want my buddy Jack. And then he crawled up on the couch, and he's like, I'm cold, Grandma. And he took my coat, and he snuggled up in it. And, you know, Jack says, you know, your scent's on that coat. And, you know, that made me even be just, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm thankful for being a grandma and a mom and a wife, all those other things. It's amazing. All right. So we're getting ahead of ourselves here. So we need to put in 1.5 teaspoons of lemon juice. Let's see here. There we go. This one has 3/4 everything, so it's like really cool. I love this. Thank you so much, you guys. So there's 1. And we'll do 1/2 teaspoon of lemon juice. Isn't it funny though, you know, like, and we need 3/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. There we go. And we also need, let's see, 2 tablespoons of sugar. Alrighty. Isn't it amazing though how we sometimes take for granted just exactly how blessed we are. Like, you know, like I say, I never prepare for any of this. So whatever spews out of my spout is kind of what it is. But, you know, even though times are rough right now, whether it's that we have a beautiful family or faith in God, or we've got an amazing friend, or we have all of that. And let's say we're so broke, it's not even funny, and that we can't afford to do anything, and things are really, really rough. You know, I think that we tend to forget we have God watching out for us. He's always got our back. And we've got our, you know, most of us have our children, grandchildren, husbands, wives, significant other, friends. I have my channel. You know, sometimes, even though financially it's so rough, we've got a lot, you know? Like I told Tom the other day, I said, you know something? I am truly, truly a blessed woman. I mean, my first husband wasn't horrible, nothing like that. It just didn't work. And I grew up, he didn't. You know? And it's hard to run a family that way. But I met an amazing man quite a few years later that you would never know he wasn't the kids' dad. I mean, he loves my kids. He loves my grandkids. It's amazing. All right, so we're going to pour that in the bottom of the bowl. Make sure we get all that goodness out of there. Because like Jack was saying last night, how much he loves my grandkids. And he says, I feel like they're a part of me. And I said, but they are. Like my grandkids, they're real grandfathers on both sides. Neither grandfather really comes around, so the only grandfathers they know are actually their step-grandpas. But do you think those kids know that? No. And to Jack, you know, like, Emmy is so cute even now. Like, he'll come over, and now he knows where Jack lives, and you can see Jack's house from my bedroom window. And he'll walk right over to the window, and he'll go, Jack, Jack. And I'll be like, do you want me to call Jack? And so he looks back at me, and his eyes get big. So Jack will walk across the yard, and then Emmy put his little hand up against, I lifted up the window, you know, even though it was cold, and he put his hand against the screen, you know, to touch Jack. And he puts his head to try to go underneath the window and stuff. Sometimes blood, it isn't everything. I know I said that last week too, but it isn't everything. All right, so I'm going to put that off to the side. I'm getting ahead of myself again. See how bad I am? I tell you. You get me going on something and then I just totally lose track of everything. All right, so now we need, I would see if my recipe didn't fall. Now we need 3/4 cup of flour. So let's get my handy dandy scooper out here. There we go. You know, it wasn't until this year that I realized if you look on the inside of your big cup, it says 1/2 and 3/4. Learn something new every day. How amazing is that? All right. So we need 3 cups of flour. We need 1 cup of light brown sugar. Let me use this because the other one's dirty. There's 1/2. And then there's 1. And I'm grateful for and thankful. I've had like 10 offers this week of different things to demo. But you know, when you do it, sometimes they don't come through. They just, are you interested? And you tell them yes, and then they never hear from them again. So you never know. You never know. Okay. So now the next thing I need is 3/4 of a cup of oats. My grandma used to make this when I was a kid, and I loved it. She would do it with peaches, whatever happened to be in season at the time. And I never made it until I started doing a channel. And because I guess I didn't realize just how easy it really is. So, you know, I'm like, okay, now I know. All right, and then I need, I think, a teaspoon of cinnamon in this. I know I'm making a big mess. I really am thankful for all of you, big time. I can't express how thankful I am to you guys. All right, now we're going to take a 1/2 cup of butter, cold butter, and we're going to chop it into little pieces. I'm thankful for God, too, that some of you that have been asking for prayer, you're getting better. There still are a few that are not, so let's keep everybody from my channel in prayer. Because, you know, whether it's financial or physical, a lot of people are going through stuff right now. And we want to know that somebody has our back and that we're there for them. So we're going to put that 1/2 cup of cold butter in there. Get off my hands. I always keep a towel in my lap because you never know when you want to wash things off. This is the first time I've ever used a blender like this. Let's see how it works. If it doesn't work so good, then I'll use my hands. I don't know. That's working pretty good. I've never used it. I've had one, but never used it. I still say my hands could do better than this. Yeah, see, it's just getting matted in there. It even says on there, sometimes it's better to use your hands. You guys know how I like to play with my food. The Thankful Thursdays are getting a little bit harder to do because I'm not sure all what to say, and, you know, like I wished I could plan out, like, what I'm completely thankful for, but that's not how my brain works, I guess. Just comes to me as I'm doing it. Or I'll have things like last night with the grandkids or whatever that bring you to that conclusion. You know what I mean? So, you never know. I think when you're thankful for everything, that sometimes maybe I take advantage of those things, because you just, like, when you say your prayers, you're like, thank you, God, for everything. But you don't be specific. Like, you know, that's a challenge for you today. What did God do to make your life better today? Like, I'm grateful I woke up and, you know, my grandson got delivered to me, and, you know, what's something today that you're truly grateful for? I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful that I woke up, that I got to look over on the couch and see my grandson. I'm grateful that I told him I love him and he said it back. I'm grateful that Tom and Courtney made it to work today, because the roads are really bad. And I'm grateful my son, he had to travel quite a ways today too. Reminds me I should text my oldest one, make sure everything's okay. He goes through spurts where he'll call me every day and then he won't call me for a week. I don't know. Kids are weird. Alrighty. I think I got it mixed up again. Let's hope it doesn't overflow. It did say 8 by 8. Alright. Let's spread that out a little bit. Make sure it's all covered with yummies. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? I'm going to have a mess to clean up on my hands. But that's alright. That's completely okay. Alright, now you're going to put this in the oven. 350 for 45 to 50 minutes. So, maybe I'll come up with some other stuff to talk about. The video's already taken so long, I'm sorry. But I'll be back and let's see how this turns out. Alright, so I'm back and it's done. I'm trying to throw together what I think I'm thankful for. And I happened to look in on my bed and I saw my 2 kitties. And I'm very thankful for them. They are so affectionate to me and Tom. It's crazy. Like, they snuggle up to our feet or up to our butt or whatever, and they can't get close enough to us. And, you know, if you're having a bad day, your animals seem to know that. And they come up and they snuggle with you and whatever. So I'm thankful for my pets. Jack just came over and he carried my 2 great big loads of laundry into the bedroom for me. I'm grateful for Jack. I'm grateful for YouTube, because it gives me a chance to talk to you guys, and that means a lot to me. We're getting more subscribers. It's slow, but it's going along, and as it goes along, I get to meet a lot of you, not in person, but, you know, through the comments and emails and stuff like that. And, you know, when when you think the world is going to crap, and I'm not going to get tearful. When you see the world starting to take a turn that's not always the best, you know what I mean? It's so nice to see the love and the camaraderie and the support. And that's something that no amount of money could ever pay for. It could never buy. It could never... You guys have encouraged me to be a better person and a better woman, a better cook, a better mom, grandma, wife, friend. And I know I always thank you guys during Thankful Thursday, but I don't really think that you guys understand how thankful I truly am. We can all throw together a bunch of food and turn it into something beautiful. But you guys encourage me and you push me, and like, I'm looking at this sourdough starter and it scares the crap out of me. But I know that even if it fails, you guys will be like, you got this, you know. And I like how you encourage other people. And like, for instance, when I showed the seeds the other day, you know, like Renee's going to help with the seeds. And, you know, some of you have ordered, and, you know, it's like a call for help, and you guys come running. And I don't mean just with money or with buying things or whatever. I mean, you put in what means the most. You put in you. So if anybody tells you or says to you that you're not the person that you think that you are, and I had somebody do that this week, and but know who you are in your heart and what you put out there. You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. If everybody liked me, I'd probably have 10 million subscribers by now, right? But stay true to you, because there's nobody else other than you. There's nobody like you. You may have qualities that people don't like. You may have qualities that people love. You have qualities that people want to mimic. Whatever it happens to be, because you are you, and that's all you can be. And the day that you stop being you, you gotta check it, you know, because you's pretty cool. At least I think so. And we've got some new people to the community, and I hope you guys make them feel welcome as well. That's the one thing I like about church. You know, you go to church and they'll, like, sometimes, you know, they'll see a lot of new visitors in there or whatever. And then after church or before church, if they've never seen you before, they don't like to you, but they go up to you and they, you know, they introduce themselves and they ask who you are, and they get to know you, you know, before and after church. And I think that's amazing. And I think that's what we do here on this, my platform, my channel as well. Excuse me. We kind of get to know each other. And I'd say 99.99% of everybody that I've met on this channel, I absolutely love you. Even the ones that can be mean, sometimes I love you too. And I pray for each and every one of you. Let me know in the comments if you want me to continue doing the Thankful Thursdays. I'm not sure how inspirational I've been, and if I continue to be, then that's fine. If not, let me know. But I like this time that's just you and me, and even if it's not always talking about faithfulness and thankfulness and all that good stuff, it's nice to have that time for you and I to get to know each other and to know what we like about each other. And what I like about this channel too is that none of you demand anything of me. You know, you like through life, you know, you've got your work and family and friends and all that good stuff, and they all seem to want to pull you in different directions. And sometimes that can be frustrating. But you guys just keep pushing me for good, and I love that. I am so thankful for that. Like, I see other people's channels and nobody comments or, you know, whatever, and but you guys aren't like that. You guys comment and you like, and then I've been reading through some of the comments, and then, you know, like somebody will jump in on somebody else's and, you know, like really encourage, or I'm praying for you, or that's going great, or, And, you know, I love that. I think that's so great that, you know, you jump in and you talk to somebody else too. So it's like, I feel like almost, I told Tom, I says, I feel like we could travel anywhere and we'd find that one person that we could hang out and have lunch with or something, because you're from everywhere. You got people from the UK and Canada and, you know, Ireland and, you know, the United States, and just everywhere. It's so cool. And I think that's what I liked best about like Facebook, because you could meet people from all over the world and it'd be like they were sitting right next to you. And that's the one thing that I hope that you guys are getting from Thankful Thursday, is that, you know, a couple of you would be like, I wish I could sit in the kitchen next to you. But you are, you know, I'm not hearing you back right. Like, I'm not that good, but it feels like you guys are sitting here with me, and I like that. And I think today's video, I want to be thankful most for you guys, because you're making dreams come true, and you're so supportive and so loving. And like, I hear about all these other people that have so many haters and stuff, and there's been a couple. I don't delete theirs, and like, she deleted her own comments this week. So she's one that's given me trouble before, and then came back and said she was sorry, and then she nailed me again the other day. So I told her maybe she needs to move on. And because I don't think we need all that negativity. We got enough of that crap going on in this world. We don't need that too. So anyways, let me close by taking a taste of my, oh, I got to show it to you first, don't I? Look at that. Now let's see if it's as good as Grandma's. Nothing is ever good as Grandma's. She just was amazing. Oh my gosh. Close my eyes. And my grandma didn't buy ice cream a lot. She was diabetic. I am too, but she had type 1. So she didn't dare to do a lot of sweets. I closed my eyes and I could picture her standing over by the stove. And she'd scoop us out a little bit into an old Tupperware bowl. Not the big cereal bowls, but the one next, downsize that. She'd be like, Chrissy, come try this. And because she knew I loved her apple crisp. Oh, I loved it. And that apple crisp actually brought back that memory. I think it's so funny. That's something else I am thankful for, is that sometimes through food, you think about things like, you know, when I made the tomato and macaroni the other day, it made me think about my mom. Because that's one thing that she made that I really liked. My mom made a lot of pasta. I'm not the biggest pasta fan, but I love the macaroni and tomato. I love goulash, but if you're listening, Mom, I didn't really like hers that much. She didn't add like the tomato sauce and stuff like that. It was, or no, she didn't add tomatoes, and it was kind of bland tasting, but the idea of it was great. And I always ate it because, well, it was my mom, and you eat your mom's cooking, because, you know what, it wasn't like nowadays where these kids get like 3 different choices of what they want to eat. You ate what your mom put on the table, or you didn't eat. So I'm glad I made this today, because it made me think of my grandma, and that's a good idea. If you guys haven't been able to tell, like when I talk about personal things and whatever, I do talk a lot about my grandma. Her name was Juanita, by the way. Juanita. So I think in Spanish it means Juanita, Juanita. She was born in 1923. And She was born in April, and I wanted so bad, April 16th, I wanted so bad for my youngest one to be born on her birthday. He didn't get here till April 22nd, but pretty close. And she, this could get me teary, but she was a woman before her time, and she would defend me no matter what. She was always in my corner, and I, other than my kids and God and my husband, my grandkids, I couldn't picture loving anyone more than I loved that woman. I know on my wedding day, she died in 1990, in January, and I got married in December of 1990, and I looked back, and I knew she wasn't there. And so I carried a picture of her in my bra, the wedding dress. And then I refused to look back again because I carried her with me. So she's the one that I go up and I take flowers to her on her birthday and at Christmas. And then we do them in May too, you know, when we do all the other graves. So be thankful for that one person that just really helped mold you into the person that you are today. And that their memories will stay in your heart forever, and that you'll carry them with you like I carried her with me excuse me, in my wedding dress. Carry them with you, whether they're alive or dead. And if they're alive, call them. Text them. Go visit them. Because you know what? One day you'll be sitting here looking at a video and you're trying something that reminds you of that person, and you'll cry because you can't go to them anymore. And that's something else I'm thankful for, the elderly people in our lives, because you know what? They teach us a lot if you listen. They teach us a lot. And I wished, being 57 years old now, I wished I would have listened more at 17 and 18. And, you know, maybe you wouldn't go through the bumps and bruises, but maybe we're supposed to do that. We're supposed to be, you know, like, whatever, you know. But I remember the old stories from my grandparents, my parents. And my grandpa was the baby of the family, and he was born in May of 1900. And he was the baby. So I didn't get to meet too many of them. He had a big family, too. But the stories that they could tell you, like, he used to deliver things with horse and, you know, they were farmers. They, you know, they had so many stories that it's unbelievable, and you just sit there and you'd listen. And as a kid, maybe you took some of that for granted. But the thing that it is, you know, people don't think about it. Years later, you'll remember things. It'll pop into your head and you'll be like, wow, Grandpa was right. Or, wow, Grandma was right. Or your mom or dad. Even if you don't want to admit it. But I've taken up way too much of your time, and I've just babbled on like I normally do, because that's just what I do. That's me. My brain always goes and goes and goes and goes, and I go off on tangents, and not mean tangents, but I mean, like, you know. So thank you for being here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being you. And I got a lot of prep to do for tonight's dinner. It's going to be a good one, though. I hope. I've never tried it before, but I hope it's going to be a good one. But a lot of prep. So I'll do some videoing before Jack comes over, because he's not going to want to do that much prep. I love you guys. I really do. Thank you so much again for being here. God bless you. And I love you guys.